Jai Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Suprasita Shrimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Suprasita Shrimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Pramsika Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Go Bhaktivinoda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Dwarka Dham Ki Jagannath Dham Ki Gangamaya Yamunamaya Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Susantai Gaurachanda Ki Sri Krishna Balaram Ki, Sri Shada Shanashanda Ki, Sri Lalita Vishaka Stasaki Brinda Ki, Anyam Sankitana Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Brinda Ki, Nitai Gopi Manandi. All glory to the Sami devotee, all glory to the Sami devotee, all glory to the Sami devotees, all glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnana Timendasya Ganangana Salakaya Chaksu Sumilita Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishta Stapita Yena Bhutale Sanyarupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutam Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Sri Rupam Sagajatam Saharagana Raghunata Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijanam Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Padasahagana Lalita Sri Vishakavitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Veshabhan Sute Devi Panamaman Hari Priye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandana Yacha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudeva Sutan Deva Kansa Chanara Madana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bandi Jaga Guru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivise Sasundabadi Chacha Dishitarini Vanchaka Paturubhyascha Kripa Sindhi Bevacha Patitana Pavana Vebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prima Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Guratu Se Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ananda Lila Maya Vigraya Himabada Vichavi Sundaraya Tasma Maha Prema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandra Namo Namaste. So I thank everyone for being here this evening for the nightly Bhagavad-Gita class. So the chapter is about the demonic principles, the demoniac nature This is the topic, chapter 16. It's a very, very interesting chapters which describe demoniac nature. So which means Lord Krishna speaking to his dear disciple Arjuna, he's telling us about who are demons and who are not demons. So the first 4 verses, so Lord Krishna described told Arjuna what are the divine nature. So the divine nature. So, and of course, the divine nature is there. And then Lord Krishna described the demoniac nature. In this age of Kali, if you are looking for demons, we don't have to look too far away. It mentioned before that in previous ages, the demons and the devotees, those who are demigods or those who are of divine nature, they used to live in a different planets. They don't live in the same planet, different planets. So which means this particular demon, this planet, and those who have devotee, divine nature, they live in a different planet. And then as ages progresses, the demons and the divine, the Sura and Asura, they were living on the same planet, but not different. They live in different country, but not in the same planet. And then after some time, after progression of the ages, the demons and the devotees, they were living in the same country, but not in the same city. Same country, not the same city. So which means, let's say demons, they live in New York City, devotees will live in Washington, D.C., different city, or London. And then, after some time, then the demons and devotees, they were living in the same city, but different households. So you can say, okay, this household, our demons are there, this particular household, the devotees are there. And then the progression goes on, the demons and the devotees, nature, they were living in the same house. So living in the same house. So which means within the same family, you can see those who are demoniac and those who are not, those who are devout in the same family. And then he said that now after, of course, by the Kali Yuga, the same devotees, nature, and demoniac nature, they are living in the same body. So which means, because both demoniac nature and divine nature is within the same body. So if you are looking for devotees in this age, you don't have to look too far away. We can just look within ourselves. We can start asking ourselves, am I a demon or am I a devotee? And Lord Krishna is describing what is demoniac, what is divine in this chapter. Whereby he said, that Daivi Sampat and Asura Sampat. So the Lord said, Dwa Bhuta Sago Lokeshmi, Daiva Asura Aivacha. Two type of persons who are living this world, those who are demoniac and those who are divine nature. So the Lord described that those quality like proud, arrogance, many things. So now this chapter, I think today we're in text number 7. So the Lord is now starts describing what is the demoniac nature. And of course, location is telling Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, you of divine nature, that's why you're my friend. But I'm going to tell you what is demoniac nature. So this text we have today, text number 7, so we can read together. Pravitim cha nivritim cha Janana vidurasuram Nasochan napichacharo Nasatam te suvidyate Pravitim cha nivritim cha Janana vidumasura Nasocha napichacharo Nasatante suvidyate Pravitim cha nivritim cha Janana vidurasura Nasocham napichacharo Nasachante suvidyate. Pravitim, acting properly. Cha, also. Nivritim, not acting properly. Or acting improperly. Yes, nivritim is kind of. Cha and Jana persons na never Vidu no Asura of demoniac quality na never Socham cleanliness na no Api also Cha and Achara behavior na never Satyam truth Teshu in them Vidyate there is. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. Purport. In every civilized human society, there is some set of scriptural rules and regulations which is followed from the beginning, especially among the Aryans, those who adopt the Vedic civilization and who are known as the most advanced civilized peoples. Those who do not follow the scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. Therefore, it is stated here that the demons do not know the scriptural rules, nor do they have any inclination to follow them. Most of them do not know them, and even if some of them know, they have not the tendency to follow them. They have no faith, nor are they willing to act in terms of the Vedic injunctions. The demons are not clean either externally or internally. One should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of God and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. As for behavior, there are many rules and regulations guiding human behavior, such as the Manu Samhita, which is the law of the human race. Even up to today, Those who are Hindu follow the Manu Samhita. Laws of inheritance and other legalities are derived from this book. Now, in the Manu Samhita, it is clearly stated that a woman should not be given freedom. That does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves, but they are like children. Children are not given freedom, but that does not mean that they are kept as slaves. The demons have now neglected such injunctions, and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved the social condition of the world. Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. She should be given protection by the father in her younger days, by the husband in her youth, and by the grown-up sons in her old age. This is proper social behavior, according to the Manu Samhita. But modern education has artificially devised a puffed-up concept of womanly life. And therefore, marriage is practically now an imagination in human society. Nor is the moral condition of women very good now. The demons, therefore, do not accept any instruction which is good for society. And because they do not follow the experience of great sages and the rules and regulations laid down by the sages, the social condition of the demoniac people is very miserable. So this is what Srila Prabhupada said on this verse, Pravitin Cha Nivritin Cha, Janana Vidu Asuram, Na Socha, Napicha Charu, Na Sacham Teshu Vidyate. And our previous acharyas, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, he also said some light on this verse. So he said that in 12 verses written in this verse, the Lord discusses the demoniac group. The demoniac persons do not know what is to be performed as dharma and what is to be avoided because it is adharma. The use of the word cha twice indicates that they do not also know the scriptural injunctions for dharma and prohibitions of adharma. This is because they do not have any regard for the Vedas. They do not have internal or external cleanliness, socham, necessary for following Vedic injunctions. They do not have conduct, achara, according to the rules of Manu and others. They do not have truth, satyam, words telling the facts for the benefit of living entities. Their teachings are like the sound of jackals and vultures. So there are 5 things which are pointed out in this verse. The 5 things which are pointed out. So these are pravitim nivritim, which means the things to be followed, which is pravitim, what is to be followed in this world. And the nivritim means what is to be avoided. So we have regulations to be followed, and then we also have regulations to avoid, which means what to attach oneself to and what to detach oneself to. So pravitim, nivritim, those 2 things are there. So pravitim cha, nivritim cha, which means the regulation to abide by and the regulations to avoid. And then there is the, so those are the two things, and then there is this socham, cleanliness, and the achara, behavior, and satyam, truthfulness. So those things, the cleanliness, the behaviors, the truthfulness, but all these 5 things are said to be not there among those who are of demoniac, or those who have demoniac nature, because these 5 things which I mentioned here, this is all based on the Vedic scriptures, Vedic principles, but because those who are demoniac nature do not have faith in the Vedas, they do not follow the Vedic principles. They discard the Vedas. So therefore, these things are not in them. Don't know what to be done, not what is dharma and what is adharma. They don't care for it. They just go according to the whim. So like in the modern society, it's all, modern society is living with disregard to Vedic injunctions. So they're living with disregard to Vedic injunctions. So therefore, how can they know what is to be done and what is not to be done? How can they know the principles of cleanliness or what is truthfulness? It's not there. So so in the Sanskrit word, the pravitimcha, nivritimcha, it's janana vidu asura, which means those who are demons, demoniac nature, don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done. No cleanliness, no proper behavior, no truth is found in them. So which means, when we say pravitim and nivritim, which means the inclination and disinclination, those two things. Inclination and disinclination. So which means the inclination to act or to engage. The inclination to act, to engage. So in a very context, it specifically means engaging in actions sanctioned by scripture. To engage in action which are sanctioned by scriptures. And those actions, they elevate consciousness. Because because the scriptures are meant to elevate one's consciousness. So which means one is beyond the animalistic propensity of this material world. It's all meant to elevate our consciousness so that, yes, we can rise above the material modes of nature and actually, get out of this material world. So pravitim, which are there in the scriptures, they say, okay, this thing must be done. These activities must be performed. And then nivritim, so these are the cessation or the withdrawal of certain activities. For example, we mentioned that at a certain age, a person must leave home. A certain age, a person must leave home, just like when Prahlad Maharaj, when he was instructing his father, he said, Vanangata Aripada Astrayeta, that certain time, that when one reaches a certain age, must leave home and go to the forest and take shelter of Hari. Vanangata means to go to the forest and take shelter of Hari. So, means knowing what actions to avoid, because many things in this world, they degrade the soul. So, which means knowing when to renounce material engagement entirely for spiritual focus. So one is not meant to engage in materialistic activities until the very end of life. One is not supposed to engage in those activities. The time to stop activities is regulated in the scriptures. But the fundamental defect of the asuras is that, they don't follow. It's not that they are lazy, that they just don't care for it. They don't follow those regulations. So therefore, the activities is always misdirected because they don't follow it. So which means they engage in the activities, prohibiting where they should withdraw, and then when they withdraw where they should engage. So therefore, the scripture said, "Nivritim cha," which means no regulations, nothing. That's all. And then of course, socham, not socham, which means there's no cleanliness. So according to the scripture, there are two types of cleanliness. There is baya, which means external cleanliness, and then there is antara, the internal cleanliness. So external cleanliness, which means, for example, is mentioned that how one should wake up in the morning and take bath, shave oneself, cleanse, brush the teeth, and all that. That's any human being has to do that in order to clean oneself nicely externally. But the most important is the internal cleanliness. While the body externally, one clean one's body externally, put on fresh clothes, and then go for worship. But internally also, there has to be internal cleansing. So the internal cleansing is that by which one meditates on the Lord's name. Through the process of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, like Prabhupada pointed out in the purport, that the process of Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. That is the topmost internal cleansing. Chetudapa Mahajana, the heart is cleansed. And when the heart is cleansed, then one can, one can be purified of material consciousness. One is purified of material consciousness, and then come back to Godhead. Because through the chanting process, the heart is cleansed, and when the heart is cleansed, then the Lord comes and sit in the chambers, and sit on the throne that is in the chamber of one's heart. And when the Lord come and sit on your heart, you see the Lord, and then you go back to Godhead, basically. So that is there. The internal cleanness has to be there. And then achara. Achara means the behavior, proper behavior. So this behavior refers to the customary dealings, the proper etiquette. So I mentioned that the application of cleanliness in daily life, so it is the external manifestation of the internal culture. So the proper achara must be there. It's mentioned that how, when one wake up in the morning, how one has to give respect to the elders. One has to pay obeisance to the gurus. Guru means the elders, society. So in this way, one live a good purified life. So which means the failure of direction, this prohibiting everything, it's what creates chaos in life. So it mentioned that the proper prohibiting, which means according to the Vedas, one enters the world of family and matter, and then there's a regulation whereby one can gradually purify oneself and eventually reach nivritim. Nivritim simply means detachment. It means detachment from the world. So the activity that you do within the world, and then such activities it enables, then it brings you to detachment, and that is the implementation of the Varnashram Dharma. The Varnashram Dharma is such that one perform all one's materialistic activities, and then eventually one come to the point of renunciation. So in the Bhagavatam, it mentions that the scriptures provide marriage and sacrifice, not to encourage this, but to regulate them. Because in the Vedas, it gives a lot of provision how one should live one's materialistic life. But it gives those provisions to lead to one's materialistic life, so that it eventually leads to detachments. So Bhagavatam says that Loke Vyavaya Mission Nadya Seva Nitya Janto Naitata Chodana. So he said that in this material world, the conditioned soul is always inclined to sex, flesh eating, and intoxication. Therefore, the scripture does not enjoin this, rather it regulates them. Yeah, which means it's not that in the beginning the scripture forbid ones to engage in these activities of illicit sex, sin gratification, but it gives a regulation. So that eventually it gives regulation, okay, you want to have sex, good, but get married. Get married, and then you can have sex. That's what it does. But it doesn't mean that, okay, you just have sex, just like animals. You get married, and then eventually you have children, you take care of the children, and then eventually after some time, when the body grows old, you get tired of it, and then certain age, you're supposed to take what we call vanapras, vanapras, whereby you live in the association of the sadhus or the devotees. So that is there, this regulation is there. And then Socham, cleanliness. So like Lord Krishna is mentioned that because the demoniac is said that there is no Socham, they are not clean. They don't follow this cleanness. And as we said before, cleanness doesn't just mean that you bathe, you take care of your external body externally, but also take care of the internal process only. Like, for example, those who don't follow the Vedic regulation, they don't even know the proper external cleanliness. They don't even know the external cleanliness. For example, in your two hands, you're not supposed to touch things with your left hand. So some things you do with your left hand, and some things you do with your right hand. For example, for eating, you can only eat only with your right hand. You cannot eat with your left hand. And if you want to give something to someone, you can only do so only with your right hand. To give something to someone with your left hand is said to be disrespectful. And also, anytime your hand touches your mouth, your tongue, you're supposed to wash your hand. So all these things are there in the Vedic scripture. You're supposed to touch. I remember when we were brahmacharis, we were taught many things, many small things. Like in the beginning of the movement, one time, the devotees, they had the Bhagavad-Gita on the floor. So Prabhu said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't get on the floor. And then the devotee to get offended. Oh, why there's so many rules? You're not supposed to touch the scripture with you're not supposed to point your leg towards the scriptures. You're not supposed to do that. So there are a lot of many intricacies of cleanness, of how to observe this cleanness. Just as mentioned that the Kumara Acharya Pragya and Dhamma Bhagavatam here, that in the beginning stage of one's life, that one has to have this education, this basic education, so that one can understand the science of life. One can really practice the God realization. There are no Bhagavatam here in this world that one can understand the science of devotional life. So the Vedic scriptures will provide this education right from the beginning of one's life, so that one follows it. But unfortunately, those who are not those who are of demoniac nature, so they don't care for all these things. So in the Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 4, text 17, is also mentioned, karma hi api bodhavyan cha vikarmana. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what work is, what is forbidden work, and what is inaction. So this can be correlated with this text that we are reading today in terms of what action is and what forbidden action is. Chapter 4 is full of actions and inactions. What the sacrifice, what to be done, and what with the various intricacies of actions. These are fully explained in the chapter 4 of the Bhagavad-Gita. And then, of course, as we're going to be reading in the future verses in this chapter, the Lord is going to be further explained in terms of how the demoniac nature do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done, in terms of how they actually see themselves as the Lord of all they can survey. This is a very, very interesting chapter, actually. Very, very interesting chapter. Then in the Upanishad mentioned, Handatama pravisantiye vidvam upashate, that those who engage in the culture of nation activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. So, which means those who, as Lokusha pointed out towards the end of this chapter, that those who are of demoniac nature, who don't pay attention to the Vedic scriptures, they live demoniac life. He said that what's that? Tamo Dwaram, they enter into the darkest hell, which means the darkest hell means they enter into the dark stage of existence. They enter into it. So, and then Prahlad Maharaj, when he was talking to his father, he said that Matine Krishna Parato Satova. Then he said, it's a Puna Chavita Chavananam. So, which means they are blind. They're like blind men, leading other blind men under Vitande Upagiyamanam, bound by strong groups of material nature. So, for example, they want to enjoy this world, but what did they do? Puna Chavita Chavanana. They simply chewing the chew of what's already been chewed before. It's like one is chewing sugar cane, throw it away, and another person take it up, and then eating the same thing. What can they get? Nothing. So those who are demoniac, basically they are animalistic life. Because animals, they only act on instinct. They don't follow any regulations. So the animals, they have what we call no probity, no nifty. They just act purely on instinct. So they simply follow. They simply act. Of course, the animals, they're actually better than humans. Those who have demoniac nature are better because the animals, they act on instinct, but they do not break the law of nature. You see, the animals, because they follow the dictate of nature, they don't follow their own. But the humans, they are breaking the nature's law. Because the humans, they have intelligence, they can discriminate. So the humans, they follow the law, they break the laws of nature, whereas the animals, they don't break the nature's law. They just follow whatever the nature dictate for them. So the dominant propensity who don't follow anything, they are worse than the animals. Animals are better than them. Actually, many persons, it will be insult to the animals to compare them. It will be insult to the animals. Yeah, because, especially when it comes to sex. I mean, the animals follow their own natures only. But the human, they are so crazy, like especially, I remember when I was in Europe, you'll find in the open society, you find the men and women, they be having sex openly. It's so crazy. The animals will not do that. Animal will not do that. So as mentioned that human life, they have higher intelligence, but because they have the higher intelligence, so they have the freedom to violate nature's law. So because they violate nature's law, and that's why the books are compiled to that. Okay, you must follow this law. These laws must be followed. Even in the civic society, the laws are there that yes, if you have to follow, if you don't follow this law, then you'll be punished. For example, you're on the road. There's the red light is there. The green light is there. The law says, okay, if there's a red light, you can go. And if there's a green light, you can go. If there's a red light, you can stop. But if you don't follow, then obviously you'll be arrested. You'll be given fine. You'll be given fine, you'll be arrested if you don't follow these laws. If you don't say, oh, I don't care for this law, I don't care for this red light, green light, then obviously you'll be punished. So, but we don't follow these regulations. We don't follow them. And that's why the human society is so chaotic. Everything. So now we go back to some technical thing. That what is behavior? What is achara behavior? So it's mentioned in the Sanskrit that achino hi sastrata yachira, that which gathers and applies the meaning of the scriptures is called achara. Achara means behavior. That which gathers and applies the meaning of the scriptures. This is called achara. So in the context of this text we are reading today, that good manners or social politeness. So it is applied, this is applied dharma. So it is the physical discipline required to hold spiritual energy. Without the virtue of achara, the knowledge of the Vedas spills out and is lost. So which means acharan inam na punanti Veda. So in Vasistha Smriti, the Vedas do not purify one who is devoid of proper conduct, just as the wind does not purify a blind man of his blindness. So if someone does not have proper conduct, how can the Vedas purify the person? But we learn the proper conduct when we are young. We learn that, do this, do that. You should respect the elders. All these things, this is something that we learn when somebody is kumara. It's when somebody is young. As they say, when you are older, it's difficult to learn this thing. As they say, a dog, it's difficult to teach a dog an old trick, a new trick. So therefore, the proper education is given when one is young. The proper education is given. So the concept of now I mentioned that the psychology of the Asura. Why do they reject Achar? Because they don't care. So now they learn that one must bow down to someone, one must bow down to one superior. When you bow down to superior, that's his act of humility. That you recognize someone is above you. So therefore you bow down to the superior person. And also the act of taking prasadam, remnants of the law. Why do we take prasadam? Because we recognize that yes, the law is our supreme master, and by taking this remnant, we will be purified, then our life will be peaceful. So it's a kind of a submission. When one take prasadam, it's a submission to the higher authority. That yes, this food will purify us. And then when we follow the hygiene, the principles of hygiene is to realize that yes, we are not the center of the universe. We are not the center of the universe. That yes, this thing we are doing is meant to make ourselves be properly regulated. So now there's a good example that is given that just like so why is the scripture talking about this regulation? Cleanliness, fallen things, private in everything, satyam, socham, truthfulness. Why is it? Because as they say, the human body is like a river. So the river is there. Let's say there's a wide river. So if the river has no bank, there's no bank on each side. So which means the river can just go in every direction, especially during the flood. During the flood time, you find that there is some river, during the flood time, there was a big rain. So the river, they overflow the bank, and then they just go all direction and disturb and create a big destruction. Correct? So similarly also, if the body, which is compared to a wide river, if there is no restriction, there is no regulation to the body, then it just go all kinds of ways. So the body must be regulated in order to properly to advance in life, to advance in spiritual life. The regulation must be there. So many examples are given that yes, the demonic mentality, that one should not have demonic mentality. The demonic mentality must be suppressed. So the three things are achara, the behavior, the socham, the cleanliness, and also the satyam, the truthfulness. And what is the truthfulness? What is the param satyam? It's the supreme truth. One should be devoted to the truth. One should be devoted to but what truth we should be devoted to? We should be devoted to supreme truth. Satyam param dhimahi, that's the meditation on the Vedanta Sutra. Satyam param dhimahi, that yes, we meditate upon the supreme absolute truth. And who is the supreme absolute truth? Is Lord Sri Krishna. Satyam param dhimahi. That yes, we meditate upon the supreme absolute truth. Just like when we chant Gayatri mantra in the morning, what are we meditating on? We are meditating on the supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That's what we are meditating on when we do the Gayatri mantra. We are meditating upon the supreme truth. Apart from that, nothing else is of substance in this material world. Nothing is of any value in this material world. So that's just some of the basic things which have been mentioned in this. Some of the lights which have been mentioned in this text. So the Lord said, "Na socham," what is that? As we said that the demon don't know what to be done, what is not to be done. No truthfulness, no cleanness in finding them, So we have to understand the spiritual context of this. And if you understand the spiritual context of this verse, then we can know that yes, to practice spiritual life, this is the thing. Otherwise, as I said in the beginning, look, the Lord is going to be talking much more further about what are the different qualities of demoniac principle, the pride, the anger. All this is going to be described further. So which means we can start analyzing ourselves if I'm a demon or if I'm a devotee. We should start asking ourselves, do I have anger in me? Do I have pride in myself? All these things. Because this is In order to be a real gentleman, then this thing must be properly analyzed. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, they are described to be Dira Dira Jana Priya Priya Karao, Nemasarao, which means the Goswamis of Vrindavan, like Rup Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, what is their main characteristics? He said that Dira Dira Jana Priya Karao, which means they are very dear to everyone. The Priya Karao, they are very dear to everyone. Means those who are Dira, those who are gentle, and also Adira, those who are rough, those who are not gentle, those who are ruffians. But the Goswamis, they are dear to everyone. It doesn't matter what they are. And why? Because in the Masaro, they are not envious of anyone. No, they are not judgmental of anyone. They are not envious of anyone. They are very, when they are easily accessible to one another. No one is their enemy. Just like one time when I think it was one of the acharyas, Madhava Acharya, he came to Srila Rupa Goswami and asked him to correct him because Srila Rupa Goswami had written something. He had composed some pastimes of Lord Krishna. So at that time, Vallabhacharya came and he had to say this. Rupa Goswami showed him what he had written. And then Vallabhacharya said, oh, there's some fault in this composition, some fault in this writing. So Srila Rupa Goswami said, oh, okay, you can correct it. If there's a fault, okay, you can correct it. He did not say, oh, what do you mean? I'm a great Acharya, great writer. He just said, oh, whatever, okay, if there's a fault, you can correct it. And of course, Srila Jiva Goswami, he didn't like it. He said, no, how come Vallabhacharya point out a fault in my guru, Srila Rupa Goswami? So, by sound philosophical knowledge, he corrected Vallabhacharya. He said, no, you cannot find fault in what Srila Rupa Goswami had written. But anyway, this is a whole topic itself. How Srila Rupa Goswami, he had to chastise Srila Jiva Goswami for correcting Vallabhacharya. But the point is that the Goswami, they are very dear to everyone because they have no envy, not to talk of anger or pride in them. None of these things is there. So to be a devotee, then if you want to be a devotee, then we're sort of analyzing ourselves in terms of what has been described in this chapter. Okay, thank you very much. If there's any question or comment, you can please ask me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 2 points. I have spoken to some devotees. We know that right hand is for certain things and left hand. And they argue, I'm left-handed, so I do it the other way around.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Is there anything in scriptures which is rigid?
Yeah, you're right. I've seen so many, we all come across them all the time. The left-handed people, they say I'm left-handed. So what is to be done? As I said, we should eat with our right hand and the left hand to clean ourselves. Even like, I know like in many, like if you go to the many Brahminical society, when they have to eat, they will always hide their left hand, hide it. Because right hand is, but it's a kind of a tricky situation when somebody is left-handed. I think it's a kind of bad karma to be left-handed because especially when you have to. But I don't think, even though you may be left-handed, I don't think it's a good idea to be eating with your left hand just because you are left-handed. Maybe many things you can do with your left hand, but when it comes to the act of eating, I think you should use your right hand, even though you may be left-handed. That is just. Is it? You want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something in defense of beards.
In defense of.
beards.
Beard, okay. Yeah.
When I was very young, I had to shave twice a day. So it was quite a saving in time not to shave.
Yeah.
But then also, when you look at the mirror for hours and hours about how long it takes you to shave, you can be distracted by thoughts of how beautiful this person is.
Yeah.
It's narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
So it prevents narcissism.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah, normally, of course, those who are like Babajis, they normally have beard. Those who are Babajis, because they don't want to waste their time. You know, they want to save the time in their Krishna constant, they do bhajan. Normally, the regulation is that like many Vaishnavas, they only shave like once a month. And during Punyam, they will keep everything, and then Punyam they shave. Usually many Vaishnavas. So they shave once a month, and then on Punim day. And you know, of course, if you're Babaji, you shave. Now, Prabhupada instructed us that we should always shave. So that's what Prabhupada gave us, told us in ISKCON that we should always shave. But at the same time, Prabhupada also recognized that all the Vaishnava society who don't shave. You know, they keep, you know, long hair. And of course, not shaving does not mean that it's not a qualification. Okay, to be a Vaishnava, to be a devotee means you have to shave. But it's just like that principle of cleanliness, and you know, it just keep us from bad habits, you know. But again, not shaving does not mean that you know you cannot practice spiritual life. As a matter of fact, when you go to the forest, you have no chance of shaving. How can you shave? No, the chance is not there. You know. So, but I know that in some circles, there's only the grihastas. The grihastas are meant to shave. When you're in the household life, you're meant to shave. But you know, as Vanapras, Sanyas, they don't necessarily have to shave. That's a thing. But it depends on, you know, if you don't live in the ashram, you know, it's... So there's no like a one clear-cut instruction on it. No clear-cut. But I know many Vaishnavas, they don't shave. They are already Chaturmas share, the 4 months, they don't shave. They keep the hair on. But people like myself, I just find it comfortable shaving. I find it comfortable. If I don't shave, I don't feel good about it. People, especially in my culture, in my people, you know, in the black bodies, we love to shave. We love to keep clean. So that is just how I think. So if you like to keep your beard, that's good. It's okay. Nobody's going to condemn you for it. The main thing is to be Krishna conscious. That's the main thing. Krishna consciousness. To always chanting the Lord's name. And it's much more important for internal cleanliness. Internal cleanliness is much more important than the external thing. How we keep ourselves pure. Okay. Am I correct, Mataji? At the back, Mataji? Yeah.
I have a comment about the left-handed thing, and maybe about the beard thing too. I was born left-handed, and so my relatives always tried to change me to my right hand, but they had no reason for it. And then when I joined the movement, it was like right hand. You want to be Pujari? Well, you better use right hand. Right hand is friend, left hand is enemy. And so you better get, and it's not only in Indian culture, but other cultures that have that. And I remember I was working as a receptionist at the Victoria Temple, and it's not just Indians, but there's other cultures. If you give someone the left hand, it means you're enemy.
Yeah.
And so I had changed to my right hand. Of course, my left hand was my stronger one. And then I had my handwriting analyzed, right hand and left hand, by someone that analyzes handwriting. And of course, my right hand reading is just horrible, it's like sloppy. And so the lawyer looked at it, she says, no. She says, your right hand shows very good qualities. If you continue, that very good things will happen in your life if you continue with your right hand. It doesn't have anything to do with how meek it is. They said it shows like high religious principles if you can change to your right hand. And so I did because I was a Bajari, but my left hand's always my strong hand.
Yeah. That is the.
What was it? Oh, you are? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, many cultures, even apart from Vedic, even my African culture also, you know, you got to use your right hand for everything. It's right hand for eating. Yeah, left hand is always considered to be, you know, impure. Even in my culture, in my African culture, the left hand is considered to be, you know, to be not idealistic.
Yeah,
let's put it. Yeah.
My daughter was born left-handed, my husband's left-handed, and so but that's what a handwriting analysis they told me.
Yeah, many people do their, you know, left hand. Yeah.
I was just mentioning about hair. As far as my understanding from deity worship, hair is contaminated, so you don't want any hair, you know, especially when women cook, you don't want hair falling in preparations. It's considered contaminated. So, but I can see, okay, we're living in the forest and there's no barber, so
yeah. Plus, those who have taken Vanaprasthas, they don't shave because they don't eat. Also, they don't cook. They just eat whatever comes. So they don't depend on the. They don't depend on the cookies, and they don't depend on that. So, yeah. Okay, thank you very much for attending. Yes, Prabhupada ki. Go Pimanande.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.